Welcome back, trainers. Are you ready for some heart racing Pokemon action? Because today I have something a little different to show you. Today we're going to be hopping on Pokemon Showdown, going on to random battles, and then using that team on Pokemon Scarlet and Violet to see if I can win. Do you reckon I can do it? Get ready to witness not one, but two spectacular battles, both featuring this randomized team. So sit back, chill out, and prepare to be dazzled as we dive into these randomized showdowns. Trainers, if you enjoy the adrenaline-fueled battles and want more heart-pounding action, don't forget to smash that like button and hit subscribe to join us on our journey to 20k subscribers. Your support means the world to me, so let's keep the excitement going. Anyway, with all that being said, let's jump straight into the first battle. And the first battle is here. We've got our opponent, R-Poke, with their Meganium, Gligar, Hitmonlee, Ambipom, Typhlosion, and a Forretress. Pretty awesome stuff, actually. I was expecting Ubers going against randoms, but no, this is pretty awesome. Looks like we might actually have a fair fight, so that's always nice. So what do I lead off with? Looking at their team, I'd say probably lead off with Hydrapple, because Hydrapple does well against their entire team pretty much, other than that Forretress. So I think if I lead with Hydrapple, I should be alright. Yeah, we'll do that, and then we'll kind of go from there. And the battle begins. Good luck, have fun, our Poke. So they're going to lead off with Estelle, the Typhlosion, as we lead off with our Hydrapple. Now, I am confident we can take an eruption from this thing unless there's specs. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to get on out of there. I don't really have a good switch into Typhlosion, which is probably what they're thinking. So I'm going to go into our Manaphy. Manaphy should be able to take an eruption, no problem. They do withdraw Typhlosion. Interesting choice of play. And they're going to go into Pharaoh Nerf, which is going to be what? The Hydrapple. So that's actually not a bad situation for us to be in, because Manaphy could very well do some serious damage here. Now let's see what we can do. If we assume they're probably going to go into Meganium, we should go for a Tail Glow, right? So I'm going to go for the Tail Glow. There we go. They may have Red Card on this Forretress, to be fair, which could completely put a stop to our yeah, they go for a Volt Switch. Never mind. That's going to do some solid damage. And it gives them a free switch into whatever they want to go into. Now, they have got options. They've got Ambipom, which is that outspeeds us. They could potentially normal gen fake out with the Hitmonlee, get that Unburden boost, and then close combat to us to death. But you never know. Meganium comes in. Or Meganium. Nice and shiny as well. Gotta love it. So, we outspeed and we go for an Ice Beam for sure. Unless they're randomly Choice Scarf Meganium. I don't think they will be, though. So let's go for it. There's Ice Beam. They're coming through. And that's going to not even KO. But we get the freeze. Meganium got the freeze. Unlucky from the Meganium. So, with that in mind, I'm surprised that thing took an Ice Beam at +3. Or times 2.5 or whatever it is. I can never remember. So I'm going to go for a Surf just in case they switch out. Which they may do. They haven't though. So we go for a Surf at +3 times 3. Whatever it is, I don't remember how you calculate them. Meganium goes down regardless. Estelle comes back in, the Typhlosion. Are we going to see a Terror here? Should I go for an Ice Beam? Yeah, I'll go for an Ice Beam expecting a Terror. They do Terror. What type are they going to Terror into? Grass? Or something else? Who knows? They go for the Electric. Ooh. Interesting. So Terror Electric Typhlosion. That's a tongue twister if I've ever seen one. They do outspeed. They go for a Terror Blast. Are they Choice Specs or Scarfed? And we go down. So Manaphy got rid of the Meganium. And it forced the Terror on the Typhlosion. So that's not too bad. We're doing alright here. So, if we assume they're Scarfed. So if they're Scarfed, they're locked into an Electric type move. So we can bring Dugtrio in. If they're not Scarfed, we outspeed. Seems like a good opportunity to bring in He-Man real quick. The Alolan Dugtrio. There we go. And I said, hey, what's going on? So looking at their team, I'd say probably it's time for... let's just go for an Earthquake to be safe. They probably go Gligar, but I just want to scout, see what kind of opponent we're dealing with here. Pharaoh Nerf. That's the Forretress, right? Yeah, it is Forretress. Cool. So we go for an EQ. And that should do a decent chunk of damage. Not much at all. As they do pop their leftovers. Okay, that's the leftover. I thought it was a red card popping up then. Some reason. I'm going to withdraw my Alolan Dugtrio because that Focus Sash could be really useful later on. And I'm going to go into good old Sableye Gizmo over here. I haven't used Sableye yet in Scarlet and Violet, to be fair. They do go for a Body Press, which is kind of what I was expecting. or a Stealth Rock or something. So what I can do now is they more than likely go for a Volt Switch here. instead of just hard switching out. So I'm going to go for an Encore first. Encore them into the body press, like so. And then we go for a knockoff because they're definitely going to switch out the next turn. Because if they're locked into body press, which doesn't affect us, they're definitely going to switch out. So what I'll do instead is I'll go straight for a knockoff, and it should hopefully knock off something useful. So they're going to withdraw Forretress. Makes sense. They're locked into body press after all. And they're going to go into I can't pronounce that. Ampibomb comes in. Let's go for a knockoff real quick on this thing. Get rid of whatever item it was holding, which was a Silk Scarf. Interesting. Now we go for a Will-O-Wisp to get the burn on them, because why not? We've got Prankster, we may as well Will-O-Wisp things, right? I think burning the Ambibomb is definitely the way to go with this team. Definitely the way to go. As they go for a U-turn, which is going to bounce right off us thanks to it being burned. So Ambibomb goes back. What are they going to bring in now? They probably, if I had to guess, I'd say they bring in Typhlosion. Estelle comes in. That was a Typhlosion, right? Yeah, it was. So Typhlosion comes in. We're going to get our leftovers recovery, which is always nice. And then what we'll do is, I'm especially defensive, so I know I can take a hit from this thing. I'm going to go for a knockoff. You may have noticed I don't have recover on this. It's because, look, I don't want to stall people. We take the Eruption like a champ and go for a knockoff real quick. Getting rid of that Choice Scarf. So they were scarfed. That's good to know they were locked in. So, knowing that they can no longer outspeed our Alolan Dugtrio, I feel pretty confident in doing this, which is staying in and letting the Typhlosion. We'll Encore into Eruption first. I don't know why. I just want to go. I mean, I can't switch out. I may as well do something. So I'll Encore the Typhlosion into Eruption. And then we'll bring in good old-fashioned Alolan Dugtrio once more, who outspeeds the Typhlosion and can hopefully get the KO. So let's go for it. Let's go for it. Into the He-Man we go. And I said, hey, what's going on? So now they more than likely switch out or they stay in. I think I'm going to go for an Earthquake either way. Like, they may go into Gligar here, but Gligar is like, fair enough. They probably are. They go into Forretress, which is all, altogether the best Pokemon they could go into, really. So Earthquake comes through. There we go. So what do I do here? That's the real question. So my team's not very built for taking out Forretresses. The best thing I've got, really, is Hydrapple. That's the best thing we've got. So I am going to go into Hydrapple because I know it can take a body press pretty well. So I may as well, right? So we'll bring Sliverin in the Hydrapple once again. And why does this Candy Apple look so dark? But in the team preview that you saw at the beginning of the video, it was so light red. Pretty interesting. So anyway, body press comes through, does no damage. Gives us an opportunity to go for an Earth Power right now. They more than likely Volt Switch after getting some Earth Power damage, but damage on the Forretress is good damage in my opinion. So they do go for a Volt Switch. It's going to be doing nothing to us because it's 4 times resisted and it's from a Forretress. Now they probably, if I had to guess, I'd say Typhlosion was coming in. In comes Unpiquito, which is the Gligar. Interesting. So why is the Gligar coming in right now? Let's go for a Fickle Beam because this could be potentially really damaging to the Gligar. They go for a knockoff, knocking off our, what did we have again? Heavy Duty Boots. So they knock off our Heavy Duty Boots. We go for a Fickle Beam. That's going to do no damage. But it could still ramp up in power, They go for a Toxic Spikes. Fair enough. Toxic Spikes is good for me because Breloom is Poison Heal. So that's not too bad for my Breloom. We go for another Fickle Beam. And are we going to go all out? We are. Nice. Down goes the Gligar. Brilliant. I love it when the Fickle Beam comes through. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. In comes Estelle, the Typhlosion. So, pretty good Pokemon to go into here. Our Terra is Steel, so we can't Terra. We basically have to let something go down to an Eruption here. And actually, Hydrapple's probably our best bet. Earth Power should finish it off from here, so I'm going to go for it. They go for a Flamethrower. It's not boosted or anything, so we should take it. We do. And then we go for an Earth Power, and that should take out the Typhlosion. It does. So Hydrapple coming through for us right now. However, Hydrapple is easily taken care of by the likes of the Ampibomb and the Hitmonlee as well. Heck, even a Body Press from Forretress will do a lot of damage. But if they go for Forretress, I'll use the opportunity to go for a Recover. But unfortunately, they go into Ambipom, which granted is burned. We could Terra Steel to take the hit, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go for a Fickle Beam because I'm fickle like that. So they go for a U-turn. Does take us out with a critical hit. So they would have got a crit anyway, so it's a good job I didn't Terra there. It's a good job I didn't Terra. So what are they going to go into now? More than likely, I would say Forretress is probably the best one for them to go into. I would say. Pharaoh Nerf comes in the Forretress, so this is actually a really good opportunity for us. Because now we can go into the Breloom, and the Breloom is in a good position. So because it's a randomer, there's no doubt they're probably not playing by Smogon rules, right? So if we go into our Breloom, like so, they will more than likely expect a Spore right now. Right? So they probably go into the Amper Bomb. So I'm going to go for a substitute real quick. They do withdraw expecting the Spore. We don't have Spore because I'm following Smogon rules. We're playing the team was built in the random battle system for Gen 9 OU. So, you know, kind of have to do this. So substitute's going to come through, and that means we can go for a powerful Focus Punch right now. A very powerful Focus Punch. We've got the Poison Heal as well, which is great. They are burned. That is why they got into the Emerald, because I made the right play there. I'm actually quite proud of myself for that one. So let's go for a Focus Punch. I've always wanted to try Focus Punch, Sub Punch out. It's a really niche set, and it can work under the right condition. Oh, Triple Axle. Triple Axle. They are burned, so it takes 2 hits to do the damage. As there's a substitute faded. And unfortunately, they do hit all 3 times. They do hit all 3 times. That is really unfortunate. Oh, wow. So, we don't get to pull off Focus Punch. Because I didn't realize Ambipom got Triple Axle. Could still do it against the Forretress, though. Potentially. Let's see what we can do here. So I'm leaning towards you. No, you know what? Breloom's going to get revenge. I'm going to go for a Seed Bomb. They go for another Triple Axle. They may only hit 1 time. They hit 2. They hit 3. So Breloom goes down. I should really put Mach Punch on here at something instead of Swords Dance, but you know, it is what it is at the end of the day. So we don't get the Sub Punch set off, which is really unfortunate. We made all the right plays. It worked out perfectly, and they just managed to screw us over. So let's go into our Glastrier real quick. So Glastrier comes in. We're in a very good position because we've got Terra Fairy, which means that Hitmonlee doesn't know what he's getting himself into. So I'm going to go for a close combat right now. They do go for a U-turn, which is going to bounce right off us, obviously. And then they're going to go back, and I'm more than likely going to see a Hitmonlee switch right now, or a Forretress if I had to guess. Pharaoh Nerf comes in. Looking good. We go for a close combat. I'm sure it's a 2-hit KO from here. It is great. So 2-hit KO from here is great, and all that jazz. We do have the poison, which is unfortunate, and they do have the leftovers, which is unfortunate, but we should be able to take out this Forretress with the next turn, which is what I'm going to go for. Close combat comes through. Forretress goes down. So this is actually turning out to be a really clutch game. Like, you know, for the first game of the session with this randomized team, it's turning out really nicely. So Forretress goes down, and now they basically bring in the Hitmonlee, right? Because we've got an attack boost. We are a threat. Kang-In Lee comes in. That's the Hitmonlee, right? Yeah, it is. So I've got -2 defenses. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my Alolan Dugtrio. And the reason I'm going into this is because I want to be at my maximum defense for the Glastrier before I Terra Fairy. And we have Tangling Hair, which actually lowers their speed. So the fact that they're normal gem, like I predicted, means it's going to hurt. They're going to get the Unburden boost, but they do get a speed drop in the Tangling Hair, which is great. We unfortunately still get outsped here, so I am going to go for a Sucker Punch just to get a bit of damage off on them. They go for an Endure. They're going for the reversal strats. We go for a Sucker Punch and it fails. So they're going for reversal strats. That's interesting. So let's go for an Earthquake real quick. They go for another Endure, but it doesn't work. Meaning we can go for an Earthquake now and potentially take them out. Yeah, Hitmonlee's too frail. Alolan Dugtrio is able to do the thing. So the fact that we failed a Sucker Punch actually played in our favor because it meant they couldn't use the Endure twice in a row. Oh, that's amazing. So when Ambipom comes in, they probably go for a Fake Out here, which is going to lower their speed. They do. Bad play. They should have gone for a Triple Axle there. Should have gone straight for a Triple Axle because they outspeed us for a start, but now they don't. Now they don't. So Alolan Dugtrio is going to win us this game. which is amazing. I'm going to go for the Iron Head. We do outspeed because of the Tangling Hair. There we go. And that is going to be the game. So GR Poke. That was a fun one. I enjoyed that one. So let's move on to the second game. And the second battle is here. And in true fashion with battling randomers online, they have some random stuff. I see the Pikachu, I see the Blaziken, I see the Garchomp, all good stuff with the Greninja as well. And then they have Mewtwo and Sneasler. Sneasler's Dire Claw is painful to go against. Very painful. So if we assume... I don't know what they're going to lead with. They might just lead with Mewtwo straight away to try and get as much damage off on our team as possible. So I'm tempted to lead with the Sableye and just knock off something, because Sableye does actually go pretty well against the team. So let's just kind of go from there and hope for the best. And the battle begins. Good luck, have fun, Karma. They lead with the Garchomp, nice and shiny. Is that the Beta Garchomp? I think it is. Anyway, we're definitely going to burn this thing, so let's go for it. Let's go for the Will-O-Wisp right away. There we go. Will-O-Wisp comes through and lands a solid burn on the Garchomp, which is always lovely. And then now this thing's not going to do much damage to us at all. Probably goes for a Stealth Rock, right? Yes, Stealth Rock comes through. I should have gone for a Taunt, really, but, you know, it is what it is at the end of the day. Now I'm going to go for a Taunt to stop it from setting up any pesky spikes, just in case. And they are going to go ahead and go for a Sandstorm. Interesting. So they are no longer able to go for a Sandstorm or anything like that. They probably are Sandvale if that's the case. So I'm going to Encore it into Sandstorm, because you can't use it. So I may as well. Like so. And now they go for a Struggle, right? No, that's fine, yeah. They go for a Stealth Rock because they couldn't go for a Sandstorm last turn. So they go for another Stealth Rock. That's fair enough. I'm going to knock off right now. And Sableye's 1v1ing a Garchomp right now, which is crazy cool. They withdraw the Garchomp. They realize they're locked into whatever move they want to... Stealth Rock, I think it was. And they're going to go into Blaziken. Blaziken's nice and shiny as well. Gotta love it. We go for a knockoff, getting rid of whatever pesky item it had. And it's going to reveal that it had the Focus Sash. So that's now gone. We don't have to worry about that anymore. What is my switch into a Flare Blitz? Probably Manaphy, right? They're probably Speed Boost, though. That's the thing. I say we go for a Taunt to stop them from setting up any Swords Dancers. So let's do that. Boom. They fell for the Taunt. And now they go for a Blaze Kick, which we should live. Like so. And we get some Leftovers Recovery, which is great. So what I'm going to do now is... I'm going to go for a interesting play. So they get their Speed Boost, which is all fine and powerful and all that stuff. Let's go for an Encore. Block them into Blaze Kick. And then we can go into Manaphy. So there we go. Encore them into Blaze Kick, like so. I'm glad I put Encore on this thing. I'm glad, you know what? Recover has not been needed much. I mean, granted I could recover here, but what's the point? I may as well just switch into my Water type. I'm so lucky I managed to get a Water type. Otherwise, this thing would be sweeping through my team right now. But it's Encored into Blaze Kick. So let's go into Manaphy real quick. Manaphy can easily take a Blaze Kick from this thing, no problem. And then we can dish out a nice super effective Surf on the way out. So Surf should hurt everything on the team, really. Should. See how much Blaze Kick does. No damage, good. No burn either. Critical hit. No burn. But they shake off the Taunt, but it doesn't matter because they're Encored into Blaze Kick anyway. Let us go for a Surf to take care of this Blaziken straight away. So they're going to withdraw Blaziken, which is fair enough. Blaziken goes back to them. They're going to go into Sneasler. Interesting. So Sneasler comes in. Looking good. Floats in the air with the air balloon. We go for a Surf. That should do over half. It does. It does over half, which is great. So now I've got a very tough question. What do I do here? So I'm leaning towards just switching into Sableye and sacking it off, which is exactly what I'm going to do. Because this Sneasler is a threat. And if it's an Unburdened set, it's over. It's all Ogre now. So we're going to go into Gizmo, get hurt by Stealth Rocks. They go for a close combat, and it doesn't work. Nice. That's actually worked out nicely for us, because it means we can go for a Will-O-Wisp. But they already know we have Will-O-Wisp, so they may switch out. They already know we have Will-O-Wisp, so they may switch out. But if they don't, they don't. If they do, they do. They do withdraw the Sneasler. Are they going to go into the Garchomp? Pikachu. No more Volt Tackling for you, I'm afraid. Nice and shiny as well. Not really. It's a bit ugly as a shiny, but we go for a Will-O-Wisp. Now that Volt Tackle and Knockoff and stuff has been nerfed, thanks to the burn. And then we're going to get some Leftovers Recovery the next turn, which is amazing. There we go. Leftovers pops. Love to see it. I'm now going to switch out Sableye because we can use that for sack fodder later. And I'm going to go into Glastrier. Now, I know Glastrier is weak to rocks, but I don't have any way of clearing away hazards on this randomized team. So we're going to have to deal with it. As they go for a Thunder Punch, which is going to bounce right off us thanks to the burn. They do get the paralysis, which is really unfortunate. It's very unfortunate, that is. And now, they might expect an Ice move, but I'm looking at their team and I'm thinking high horsepower does really well against their team. So they go for another Thunder Punch, which is going to bounce right off us once again. We do get fully paralyzed, which is really unfortunate. Glastrier is not coming through for us right now. Unfortunately, this Pikachu is dominating the Glastrier, which is really annoying. So let's go for another high horsepower. They go for a Thunder Punch. Nothing again. And we couldn't move again because of the paralysis. I swear, if you're paralyzed and you get hit by a move that can cause paralysis, you get fully paralyzed the next turn every single time. I swear that's how it works. Because watch, I'll get fully paralyzed again here, watch. No, I don't. Never mind. It doesn't work like that. Ignore me. Pikachu goes down, which is fantastic. This is turning out to be a decent game, to be fair. We're going to get an attack boost, but, you know, Glastrier is on its last legs right now, so we may as well just let it go down to whatever they bring in. As they bring in the Blaziken. Interesting. So Blaziken comes through. We go for a high horsepower again, just in case. But I don't think it's going to matter. They might go for a Swords Dance. I don't know. They go for a Swords Dance. Oh, my Lord. Watch us get fully paralyzed here. Watch us get fully paralyzed. No, we don't. High horsepower comes through and down goes the They were banking on the paralysis big time there, weren't they? Glastrier is doing more. That's funny. Still, though, anything can come in and take us out right now as Garchomp is the one to do it. The Garchomp is here. Let's see what they do. I'm going to go for an Icicle Crash just in case they go for something like Spikes or Sandstorm. They've probably got Sandvale, right? We still hit anyway. Nice. As down goes the Garchomp to the Glastrier. My Glastrier is on death's door. It should be dead by now, but it's getting attack boosts and everything. But the Sandstorm is going to take us out this turn, unfortunately. We lived on 1 HP. Oh my god, watch Glastrier get another KO. Just watch Glastrier get another KO here. That'd be hilarious. In comes Greninja. What's Greninja going to do here? He can finish us off with anything and get that Battle Bond. Let's go for a close combat and find out. They go for a Dark Pulse, but they are in fact Protean, so we don't have to worry about Battle Bond, which is great. And that's going to take us out. Finally, Glastrier gets to rest. It was paralyzed on low HP, and it was still just getting KO after KO. Greninja may be locked in here. It may be locked in here. I am going to go ahead and... What do I do here? I think Sableye and then Encore. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go Sableye first. I'm going to go Sableye first. Get some Stealth Rock damage. That's fine. And then we're going to go for an Encore real quick on this Greninja. That's what we need to do. Encore away. So we go for an Encore. Oh, it's a Dark type. I forgot. You can't use Prankster moves on Dark types. Why do I always forget that? That's such a me thing to do. That is such... Oh, can I get some FRs in the chat, please? If you're watching the video right now, put FR and an 07 in the chat. In the comment section, please. Oh, my Lord. I can't believe I just forgot that. It's not the end of the world. But it's not the best situation for us to be in either. So, now what? That is the real question. Manaphy could do alright. I think Manaphy lives a Dark Pulse based on how much it did to... Well, it hasn't really had much of a damage. We need to know what kind of... I think this is the play. We need to know what the kind of Greninja it is. We need to know whether it's Specs, whether it's Focus Sash, whether it's Heavy Duty Boots, or what. Anyway, Stealth Rock is going to dig into Breloom, which is really unfortunate. I'm going to Terra Electric, and I'm going to go for that... what's better, Terra Blast or Seed Bomb? I guess both. Both's fine. Terra hits more on their team, so I'm going to Terra Electric. Because no, they Terra themselves. Are they going to Terra Ice? What type are they going to Terra into? Water. Okay, that's perfect. Perfect. So they Terra Water so they can be neutral to the potential Mach Punch coming through. And we're not actually going to go for a Mach Punch. We're going to go for a Terra Electric Terra Blast right now. Because I'm fully expecting an Ice Beam from this thing. Fully expecting an Ice Beam from this thing, to be honest with you. And I'm confident we can live because they aren't choiced if they switch up moves. They go for the Ice Beam. They're not choice, which means we can definitely live this. And then we go for a Terra Blast and take out the Greninja nice and... I hope it takes out the Greninja. It does. So Greninja goes down. But we still have a Sneasler and a Mewtwo. Bear in mind, my plan with the Hydrapple was to Terra Steel on the Sneasler to be immune to the Diaclaw. That's no longer going to work. It's no longer going to work, I'm afraid. Sneasler comes in, though. Looking nice and powerful. It's at half health. What do I do? What do I do here? I have no idea. So the best thing I can think to do is if we assume they're going to go for a Diaclaw or a close combat, we go into a Alolan Trio and get the Tangling Hair. But all they have to do with that is switch out. So I say we do that. Yeah, I say we do that because we're going to get the speed drop. They may go for Diaclaw, which we're immune to. But if they go for a close combat and take us out, they get a speed drop from Tangling Hair, which is what I'm going for here. So they go for a Diaclaw first, which is fine. Not going to do anything to my Alolan Trio. The Sandstorm does subside, which is unfortunate. And now I'm going to go for a Sucker Punch because I'm fully expecting them to close combat here. And I may as well get as much damage off as possible on this thing. Sucker Punch comes through. And then they go for a close combat, which is going to definitely take us out, unfortunately. But, like I said, Tangling Hair and a defense drop. Can't go wrong. They still haven't brought the Mewtwo out yet. I don't know what I'm going to do to the Mewtwo. I really don't know what I'm going to do about the Mewtwo. What I do know is Sneasler's speed has dropped. So Manaphy can now come in and finish them off. I'm really hoping they actually let us finish off the Sneasler so they can get a free switch in with the Mewtwo. So let's see how this plays out. Let's go for a Surf. And we should outspeed. They do withdraw the Sneasler, so they're resetting their speed. So our little tactic of Tangling Hair has gone out of the window as Mewtwo comes in. Looking amazing. I love its new model. So gorgeous. We go for a Surf. No damage. Oh, and nearly half. That's not too bad. They have got leftovers as well, which is interesting. Leftovers Mewtwo. I mean, I'm not complaining. Let's go for another Surf just in case we live this hit. I don't think we live a Psy Strike, though. Knock off. We may live that. We do live that as it knocks off our Salak Berry. We go for a Surf. Get some nice and crucial damage off on this thing. I would have gone for a Psy Strike. Unless it's like a defensive Mewtwo or something. That'd be crazy if it was. Let's go for a Surf again. Let's just go for a Surf again. Just in case they go for another knock. They go for Grass Knot. Which doesn't take us out. Manaphy comes through. And Mewtwo goes down. That is crazy. That Mewtwo was poorly played. To quote Mewtwo from the movie, your Mewtwo is poorly trained. That's what he says to Ash's Charizard, right? Well, in this case, it's the Mewtwo. So let's go for a Surf just in case. They go for a Diaclaw, though. That's obviously going to take us out. Fine by me. Manaphy did good. Manaphy did real good. Really good. So now, our best bet is Hydrapple. If Hydrapple can live a Diaclaw and go for a Fickle Beam here, we might be alright. So let's go for the Fickle Beam. And let's hope for the best. They go for a Diaclaw. Please, no. We live. That's great. First start. We get poisoned, which is great. It's better than Paralysis or Sleep. Because it's not going to affect this turn as we go for a Fickle Beam and win the game. Wow. That was a hard game to win. Luckily enough, their Mewtwo was poorly played. And it didn't seem to have the best moveset. But other than that, they had me on the defensive that entire game pretty much. So, GG Karma, that was a fun one. But anyway, here is the team. Try it if you want to. Use the code at the top right corner of the screen. Let me know if you have any better luck with it than I did. We managed to KO one team with it, but that second team with the Mewtwo, too much for me, I'm afraid. Too much for this team, I'm afraid. Maybe I could have played things a bit better. But anyway, thank you very much for watching today's video. Did enjoy, of course, leave a like, subscribe. Why can't I speak today? I'm not even going to say it. See you next time.